So hello and welcome to my very first plan with me. Thank you for joining. This month is obviously June 2020, and I'm doing a rainbow theme. I decided to do a rainbow theme obviously because it's Pride Month in June, but also obviously with everything that's been going on the past few months, I thought that rainbows would be a nice splash of colour for us all. So here I'm just doing my title page for the month, and that is just June written out in black with these kind of coloured circles around June using my Staedtler fine liners. I thought that this would be really kind of nice minimalist thing to do. I don't have a purple, which was annoying, so it would have been nice probably to use my Supertips instead. So just going on to my quote page. This is a quote from Maya Angelou. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. I thought that was quite sweet, and obviously since we're doing rainbows, I think it was appropriate. Having quotes from women of colour kind of been a running theme in my journal this year, so it was really nice to get something like this, which is fairly specific and almost perfect. So that was nice. My original plan was to kind of draw some clouds and have some rainbows coming out from them, but then I remembered I had these ombre washi tapes, so I decided to use them instead. I thought that would be a nice little splash of colour and add a little bit more texture to it rather than just drawings. So I'm just trying to stick them down. Some of these I've never been used before. I used the green ones in my previous spreads, but not the other ones. So I'm just cleaning up the lines I drew. So now we're on to my monthly spread. I've kind of been trying out some new spreads, but I've actually gone back to my original one, the one that I first started with, which is just a very simple numbered layout. I tried doing the kind of traditional calendar spread and it just didn't really work for me. I felt like there wasn't enough room to actually write things down, and on top of that I just felt like there was so much pressure to make it look really nice and neat, whereas with this I feel like whereas it can sometimes look a bit boring, it does the job and it just feels a bit better for me. So I'm just writing out my key now. Normally what I do is I will change the colours out for every month so that it stays in with the theme. So in previous spreads I've had things like appointments, birthdays, meetings, travel, stuff like that, but a lot of those don't really apply right now. So instead the last month, for May, I took out appointments and I put in phone calls, but this month I'm actually going to split them out, so I've put Facebook calls, Zoom calls, and then miscellaneous calls, because I'm kind of having meetings and kind of talks, chats with my friends, and they're all on different platforms, so I can actually remember and note down which platform is which. So I'm just writing up my just these little boxes. So I have 4 boxes on this spread. The red one is a to-do box, orange is for notes, green are for goals, and then the final one, which is this light blue, is going to be a tracker, probably my writing tracker. So I've seen other spreads where people will, you know, they'll put in an Instagram tracker or a YouTube tracker or something like that. But I wanted to track my writing, since I want to write a book by the end of the year. And then I've just put a little highlights box underneath so I can write down the highlights of the month. So this spread is for kind of the rest of my trackers. So I have my habit trackers, my mood tracker, and my sleep tracker. For my habit trackers, I had 8 in the previous month, but I realised that some of them were just so redundant because I either never filled them in or I only filled them in very occasionally. 2 of them were to do with sleep, so I've kind of put them into the sleep tracker. So instead of doing loads and loads of trackers, I only have 4 for this month. And you can see my mood tracker underneath, which is probably a little different to other mood trackers you've seen. I don't like the kind of like colouring in mood trackers because I feel like I can't just put all of my I can't really what's the word I can't just narrow down my emotions into, say, 5 options. So instead what I'll do is I will write down a word for every day to kind of describe how I'm feeling. I used it for this month, May, and it's worked really well, so hopefully that should work again this month, but if not, then we'll change it again. So I'm just drawing out my habit tracker boxes, and I'm an actual idiot. I originally put down that there was 6 days in the week, and I think, yeah, just about now you can see I've just realised that's 6 and not 7. So yeah, it's the one thing I did actually realise, I think I'll notice it soon, is the washi tapes that I used are slightly glossy, so the pen that I used on them rubs off, and you can kind of see the little handprints in the top corner from the cursor being left-handed and doing that. So this spread kind of got a little ruined because I ended up kind of printing all along it, which is a shame, but it's something that I can overlook, especially when I'm going to fill these in and it's going to be really colourful. So now I'm just filling in the numbers for the days. Yeah, I wanted to use a rainbow colour again, just to kind of keep in with the theme and to add a little splash of colour. Doesn't matter if I fill the actual words in black or another colour. I think just having that just adds a little extra to it. So now this is the first sleep tracker that I've done, and honestly I wasn't sure if I was going to do a line graph or a bar chart or anything like that, but I decided to do a bar chart. So for every day I will make a note of how long I slept, and I will just kind of do a line up to that. So then at the end of the month you can kind of see all these lines, and you can kind of see where I've had the full 8 hours, where it's been too short, where it's been too long, etc, etc. So this page that I'm doing right now is a playlist page. It's the first time I've ever actually done a playlist in my bullet journal. I've seen a lot of other people do them and I figured that since obviously summer's coming in, it might be nice just to, you know, write down some songs that speak volumes to me, especially since it's Pride Month. I figured that'd be a nice touch. Unfortunately, I did actually mess up the spread. I was actually on a Facebook call with one of my friends. We were journaling together, and I decided to film this. And I think I was just a little bit distracted talking to her. You can see me gesturing. Here I missed the spacing, and I put it too low. And then I did the same with the next one, and then so I ended up actually fixing this, but I fixed it off camera, so at the end you'll see the fixed version, but yeah, it's still pretty much the same. So yeah, so I have 7 songs altogether. So it's Vogue by Madonna, Girlfriend by Icona Pop, I'm Coming Out by Dana Ross, Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko, Into You by Ariana Grande, and then the other 2 that you just can't quite see because I gave up and decided to just move on to my next page, is Girls, Girls, Boys by Panic at the Disco, and Born This Way by Lady Gaga. So yeah, I do come back to this at the end to fix it up, but for now I moved on to my next page, which is my brain dump page. I had my first brain dump page for May, actually, and it worked really well. I had something that I wanted to write down that I didn't really want to make a full spread about, so I made a brain dump page, and it worked really well because it meant that I could also add other things to it. So this is pretty much just a page where you can just write down whatever you just need to get out of your brain, hence brain dump. So yeah, it's a good thing to have if you're someone like me who kind of needs that release. So I did actually run out of memory, so I didn't get to finish my weeklies on camera, but I will come back to them at the end. So here's just my flip through just now. You can see my monthly spread where I've used my colour coding. And you can see my playlist that I fixed. So what I ended up doing was just cutting out a piece of paper, writing down the songs and then sticking it over, and I ended up just kind of doing an extra border with my black pen over it as well. So here are my weekly. So you can see the brush pen that I did on the top, just in the rainbow colours. I've numbered the days as well with rainbow colours. Obviously this layout is quite small, it's just 1 week per page, and I actually have been using this layout for a few months. It's worked pretty well right now, especially when there's not that much to do, so I might change it later on, but that's fine. So thank you so much for watching, and leave a comment with what your theme is for this month, and I hope you have a fantastic month. Bye bye!